How you doing today? This is Rich here on behalf of Rich TV Live with our very special guest. It is Keith Neumeyer, the president and CEO of First Majestic Silver Corp. How you doing today, Keith?
Not too bad, Rich. Nice meeting you for the first time.
My pleasure. Now, we're really excited to speak to you today. First Majestic Silver has been doing quite well recently. And since the March lows of $11.99 an ounce, silver has been nothing short of amazing. Its price is up more than 100% and still hasn't made any mainstream media headlines at all. What is the primary catalyst for the surge in the price, and what do you think could happen next?
Well, quite honestly, I wouldn't call the move amazing. It's long, has been long anticipated, and I'm a triple-digit silver guy, and I've coined that phrase years ago, and I call silver a very strategic metal. It is precious, of course, but it's required in everything that we do, including this Zoom call could not be done without silver. So, I think that the silver, price at around 25, 26 bucks an ounce, which we're currently seeing today, is still dirt cheap. It should be much, much higher, and the ratio around 70 to 1, 75 to 1 is more traditional ratio for it. Silver lagged up until really just recently. We had the silver ratio spike all the way north of 100 to 1 in March, as you just pointed out, when silver collapsed with the financial markets, and oil prices, of course, collapsed as well. So a lot of things were getting sold, and most everything has rebounded. Gold's back up to its normal levels, and Tesla's at new highs, and the stock market, the S&P, everything seems to be at new highs. So the view out there is that we're back to normal, and the economy is improving itself, and silver is being looked at as a very key metal for all the things that we need to do as a human race to electrify the planet in the ways that we need to do it. And finally, it's getting bid up, which is great to see.
Now, you touched on this a little bit, but what sort of gold-silver ratio could we see before we term the precious metals bull market as matured and towards its end?
Well, calling a beginning or an end of any bull market is kind of a fool's game. Myself, I'd love to have a crystal ball and be able to know when to trade a stock or trade a commodity, hitting its highs and lows. Who actually knows, right? Sorry about that. This bull market started, I think, in early 2016. And, we had silver get down to the $13 range in early 2016, and it rallied, into about the $21 range and took a pause throughout 2017, 2018, as the trade, really was the U.S. equity markets. And, I look at this as very similar to what happened in 2000, 2001, where, we saw very low metal prices, and the major markets were rolling over. And I'm not going to, be foolish enough to call for a top in the U.S. stock market, but maybe gold can go up at the same time. Time will tell. But traditionally, what happens is these bull markets in metals normally are happen or get underway as a result of the topping of the major equity markets around the world. And we've seen glimmers of that, which have been very supportive for gold. But this time around, it looks like it's a little bit different because we're being driven really by low interest rates more than anything. And as long as the governments around the world are going to keep printing money, that's very good for the stock market, and it's very good for the gold price. So we could be going into a pretty interesting environment where we have everything going up at the same time, including oil prices, including commodities, including stocks. And, that's what it's really looking like. And that's a little bit different than, the last bull market, because the last bull market, which started in 2012 and ended, or pardon me, 2002 and ended quite abruptly in 2012, ended with gold and silver collapsing and the U.S. market taking off. So, this time around, we're having the metal prices moving, with copper breaking through $3 the other day, first time in a couple of years. Lead and zinc prices are moving. Oil, of course, has recovered a lot. So, we're seeing this inflation trade now coming into the market, and who knows when that could end. It could go 3, 4, 5 years, but to go to the ratio, because you started the question off with that, from a mining perspective, we're mining for every 1 ounce of gold worldwide, we're only mining 8 ounces of silver. So that's a pretty shocking statistic when you look at, we're trading at about 80 or 75 to 1, do the math, or, do changes every day, of course, but when you're trading 75 to 1 and mining 8 to 1, that's a pretty shocking ratio.
Absolutely. Now, gold has risen also, which you touched on, to new all-time highs. Bank of America is projecting 2,300 by mid-2021. Goldman Sachs says 3,000. There's definitely the potential for a historical bull market. How weak is the dollar in the world scene right now?
Well, it has been pretty weak. We saw, on the major U.S. dollar index that everyone follows, we were up around 101, 102 just 6 months ago. It's now around 90, 92, 93. It's up big today. Gold's down today, and then silver's down today, and the dollar's up today. But I think as long as the Fed continues to debase its currency by printing money, more money you put in circulation, in theory, the value of that money, that currency should go down. And I'm expecting the U.S. dollar to, continue its bear market, for the next few years, and that'll be very supportive for stock prices, and also for gold prices.
Absolutely. Now, you founded your company close to 2 decades ago, and now it's the purest silver miner in the world. How many mines do you operate?
Back in 2017, we had 7 mines operating. We're all in Mexico. All our operations are in the country of Mexico. Mexico is the largest producer of silver in the world, and then we're one of the top producers of silver in the country. And today we only operate 3 mines. Well, I shouldn't say only, but we operate 3 mines. They're all pretty big, world-class operations, and we're happy to have pared down our portfolio slightly over the last few years. And we produce only 2 metals. We produce silver and gold. 60% of our revenues are from silver, and 40% of our revenues are from gold. And we've got 5,000 employees, and always looking for ways to grow the business.
That's great. Now, can you compare the company to 2016? Back then, its share price was $24 Canadian. Right now, you're around $15 Canadian. Yet silver spot price was lower, and to my knowledge, the company produced less silver at a higher cost. What is better, First Majestic in 2016 or 2020, and how?
Well, probably as a shareholder, you'd probably say 2016, because the share price is actually higher. But there is definitely the miners are definitely underperforming the metals. Since when gold broke through 1,500, $1,600 an ounce, and then silver was still in the $15, $16 range, our stock was higher than it is today. Was silver at 25, 26 bucks, and gold around $2,000, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But these markets do not always correlate 100%. You have times where the metals will outperform the stocks, and you have times that the stocks will outperform the metals, and you can never know for certain when that's going to happen. And explaining it's not that simple, because it's all to do with money flows. The big hedge funds, the big institutions, they come in and out of these markets quite quickly, and the mining sector is quite small. So you have a group of pension funds or hedge funds coming into a particular stock. They could do some crazy things on either one side or the other side of the market. If you look at the size of the silver industry, we produce about 800 million ounces of silver annually. The miners, not First Majestic, but the mining sector as a whole. So at 25 bucks an ounce silver, that's a $23 billion industry. So one industry, $23 billion. And how many times does that industry fit into Apple? I think Apple just went through $2 trillion the other day, someone told me. So, 2 trillion divided by 23 billion. I can't do the numbers that quickly, but
Like
it's
100 times. It's like 100
yeah,
times smaller.
yeah, almost 100 times. You're right. But so Apple could buy the entire silver sector almost 100 times over.
Wow.
It's pretty shocking. So, so these stocks, First Majestic we're talking about, can go up and down very quickly as a result of just the flow of capital. And, all we can do as a management team is continually do the right thing and reduce costs and produce more metal and innovate. And, we're very proud of a lot of things that we do. And, when the market wakes up and looks at this bull market and says, hey, gold prices are here to stay, silver prices are here to stay, and they're going higher, then maybe people start rushing into the mining stocks again. But I think there is a view out there that this whole silver or gold price move was very COVID related, and quite frankly, I don't think it's got anything to do with COVID. It's all to do with money printing and interest rates. And the Federal Reserve came out with their minutes just today, and it was quite clear that Powell is not going to be changing interest rates or increasing interest rates anytime soon. It's quite clear that this low interest rate environment could be with us for years and years to come into the future, which is going to be great for gold prices.
That's great. Well, you know what? Our entire community will be watching your story and the success of First Majestic Silver Corp in detail. We wish you all the best of luck in your future endeavors. I'm very bullish on gold and silver. And for anyone that's watching, take a look at First Majestic Silver Corp. Very, very thankful to have you here on our show today with Keith Neumeyer, the president and CEO. Thank you for joining us today, Keith.
Yeah, I would suggest to your listeners to go to our website. We didn't really talk a lot today about the company, but there is a corporate presentation on the homepage of the website, which people should look at. And if they do have questions, feel free to call us at any time. We have a 1-800 number, and I'm also on Twitter. Keith_Neumeyer. Please follow me on Twitter if you care to catch up on the most recent news of the companies I'm involved in.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for your time again, Keith. Keep up the great work, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks, Rich.
Have a great day.